It's time for joy. It's time for sisterhood. It's time for all to experience for colored girls. This April on Broadway, resilience blooms into passion, poetry, music, and dance that explodes off the stage in this reinvention of the iconic masterpiece. Fearlessly new, fiercely now, for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. 20 weeks only. Get tickets today and join the celebration.
Hi, my name is Tony Israel, founder and CEO of RealEmN Productions. I'm here today to introduce our new series, the Blueprint Series. It is going to be inspiring, fantastic, place to go to see everything theater, to be inspired, to be encouraged. I'm here to introduce our first series.
I've always wanted a seat at the table, and sometimes that was very, very difficult. And I'm hoping that Luminary can provide the confidence, support, and focus for women to take that seat at the table and to be part of what we can build, to support one another. Hi, I'm Kate Luzio. I am the founder and CEO of Luminary. We are a community of empowered professional women with a space to work, flourish, and connect. So how many times have you been asked or have asked to have a coffee around career acceleration, career guidance? If it was me, I could fill up a calendar's worth of coffees every single week. Luminary provides a whole new way to look at communal workspace with amenities built for and built by women, living, working, and commuting into the city, as well as those visiting New York.
Luminary to me, I feel like, is a place for women to go to find inspiration.
To me, the idea of Luminary really does center around women helping other women.
I'm here because of people putting me first or opening doors for me. And I believe Luminary will be that space for other women.
Luminary delivers programs and content in order for you to invest in yourself, whether that's leadership development, entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship, branding, rebranding, career coaching, and mentoring. We're also looking at a different way in order to recruit so that companies can have a real, true, diverse slate of female talent. Luminary has roughly 15,000 square feet of space in the Nomad neighborhood. We've got a fitness studio, locker rooms, changing rooms, a beauty bar. We also offer a rooftop for socializing, for community building, and to have a glass of wine. In addition to conference rooms, huddle rooms, phone booths to make your day easier and your ability to accomplish everything that you need to in one day. In order to maximize who we can serve, our memberships are very flexible, both from an economic as well as a lifestyle perspective. We will have memberships that are truly focused on a side hustle. That's after hours, after you finish your day job and have a real passion project. Or for those of you that are focused more on a flexible work arrangement, we will have all the amenities that a true co-working space will have. Follow us, like us, join us on this journey, and become part of the Luminary community.
Hi, I'm Seven Brown, founder of Luna Wellness, ambassador at Luminary. I'm here today hosting RealEmN's For the Culture Blueprint series. This is going to be an exciting episode. Today's guest, Valencia Yearwood, she is the producer of For Color Girls. So we're going to have a conversation about Broadway, wellness, and all things Women's Month. Thank you so much for joining me here today, Valencia. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here, Seven.
You have absolutely no idea, but we're going to get into all the little surprises and nuanced questions that I have for you. I think I want to start a little bit with your theater memories, not even your career. So what is your earliest memory of going to the theater?
Oh, wow. One, I don't know if it's my earliest, but it is definitely the one that changed my life. And that is when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I went to the Guggenheim Museum to see the Dance Theater of Harlem. My mother was very active in the arts community, and she wanted me to go see Dance Theater of Harlem. And I just saw all these beautiful brown people on stage with these huge afros, and this black leotards and flesh-colored tights and point shoes, just moving wonderfully. And I knew then that that's what I wanted to do. And it literally changed my life and informed not only my career, but, you know, every other aspect of my life.
I had a feeling you were going to say something like that. You know, that's really, really fortunate to live in a place in New York where we have culture all around us, because, you know, I'm asking you that question because I was thinking about it. You know, when was my first time? And I have to say it was an adult, you know, because people in other areas don't always have that New York experience.
That is very true. That is very true. I was born and raised in Queens. And I was just very fortunate to be in a city that is so culturally diverse. You know, as one of the leaders in the world in terms of culture. And I was also really blessed to be born into a family that just loved the arts, music, art, dance, theater. I was exposed to it as a very young child. And as I said, it just informed every other aspect of my life.
Do you think it was a surprise to your parents that you changed your mind or decided what you wanted to do from that point?
Well, it's really interesting because my degree, I went to Syracuse University, and my degree is actually in biology. And there's a whole story behind that. But at one point I thought that I wanted to go to medical school, but I never stopped dancing. I started dancing when I was 4 years old, and I never really stopped dancing. So I always walked this dual path. They weren't very happy when I came home in the middle of my junior year in college and said that I did not want to go to medical school. But to answer your question, I don't think that they were surprised that I decided that I wanted to be an artist full time. I did go on and get my degree because I knew that if I didn't, that my parents would kill me. And I knew how important it was, how important education is. But I don't know that they were surprised.
Well, that's good. So that leads me into my next question. So Yearwood, are you from Caribbean descent?
Absolutely.
I'm actually related to some Yearwoods. So when I saw your name,
oh, really? Well, who knows? We may be family, child. What's up, cuz?
We all are technically.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, yes, my father's family is from Trinidad.
Okay. That explains the dual degrees. I get it.
Yeah, that too. Yes, always working.
Well, let's get into a little bit about your theatrical journey. What does that look like? So you go to school, you have this degree. What happens next?
Well, I trained at the Dance Theater of Harlem as a child. And so literally 2 weeks after I got my degree, I went back to back up to Harlem, back to Dance Theater of Harlem, because I knew that at that point I wanted to be a ballerina in that company. And 2 weeks after I graduated, I went back to dance theater. I trained in the school and in the second company for about 1.5 years. And then I was able to join the main company, the professional company. And so I was a ballerina with Dance Theater of Harlem for a number of years. And then from there, I did a lot of background work in television and film. I worked on every Spike Lee movie that he filmed in Brooklyn in the 90s. And then from there, I went to Broadway and danced on Broadway. I was in Once Upon a Mattress. I was also in the Broadway company of The Lion King. And from there, I started doing commercials and voiceover work and episodic television work. And now I am a Broadway producer.
I know. You know, when I was looking at your background, I saw that growth. I saw the commercials. I saw the episodes. And so you've definitely paid your dues. Excuse me. And so homage to you for that.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. So 2 degrees, paying your dues, probably working 2 or 3 jobs at the same time at some point.
Always.
What is
Always.
what does self-care look like?
Woo, self-care. It's really interesting because this is particularly in the middle of the pandemic. Self-care has shifted a little for me. I used to think that it was, oh, I got to go get a massage, or I got to go lay on the beach, or, something like that. But self-care for me right now is about taking time in the morning to pray and meditate, to really get quiet, because even in the middle of the pandemic, there's so much, even though we had to stop, there was so much information, there was so much fear, there was so much shifting. And so I knew that if I didn't feed myself, that I couldn't feed anybody else, right? Especially since I was moving into this new space of producing. So self-care for me means prayer, meditation, number one. It also means eating well, and fasting. I did a really deep dive for January and February of fasting and meditating. And one other thing that I learned that I'm living by right now is no is a complete sentence.
Amen.
And that has been a huge part of my self-care, because I'm really at a point in my life where I just cannot do anything that doesn't bring me joy.
So Marie Kondo had something on that, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say that, all your answers work for me, because I find that, especially in my work, most people were thinking they needed something outside of themselves. They need to go somewhere. And sometimes going somewhere, let's be honest, that detachment is good, but it's putting self back into self-care. So as a producer on this particular show, because I know that you're dealing with some heavy topics, lots of emotion. And, if they have to do as many takes as I do, that's a lot, Don't laugh. It's the truth. What does the cast do? Is there something built in? Is there something that you guys do as a group?
Not yet. The cast just went into rehearsal February 28th. And I'm so excited. I mean, I'm just so excited about this show on so many different levels. First of all, it is our story. It is a story that every Black woman that I speak to has resonated with. Some of us of a certain age remember when it was on Broadway back in 1976. And even the younger generation, I can't tell you how many women auditioned with monologues from this show, or did the show in high school, or, went to see the movie and talked about it. And so I'm really very, very excited. But we are we're just coming out, well, still in COVID. But, we're kind of moving out of that real protective space. But because of that, those of us that are co-producers on the show haven't had a lot of contact with the cast yet, because we want to make sure that they are creating in a safe environment. But I am so excited about Camille Brown being our director and our choreographer, and I know that she is creating a safe space for our actresses to create this work. And it is a healing work, right? Yes, we talk about heavy subjects and a lot of emotion, but that's what good theater does. That's what we are as artists. That is our job. I mean, we are the mirrors of humanity for society, and so I think that we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing with this piece.
This particular work is really special to me. And I know probably I'm no different than everybody else. They say that. But I can remember as a kid that my parents were in the military and they literally brought us back to New York. All the cousins were in one house and they went to some place that they were not talking about. And all I know is the rainbow wasn't enough. Like, what are they doing? What's happening? Right. And, years later, we saw the other works of it and I've seen it since then. And so it has come full circle, right? Because it just talks about how taboo hush hush is and how we keep things quiet and to ourselves. And that production brought a lot of things to light, a lot of things to light.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, that is what good art does, right?
Yeah.
Good art goes into spaces that are uncomfortable. It makes us have conversations that would be hush hush somewhere else. And it forces us to really confront some things. And how timely is that? I mean, I love the fact that this production is historic, but it's new, it's timely, it's fresh, because we are in a space where we are having conversations that we weren't having before. Before the pandemic, before George Floyd, we were not having these kinds of conversations, and we certainly weren't doing them in mixed company, right? And so now we have the opportunity, and not only the opportunity, but the responsibility to really have these conversations, because we cannot move forward as a society if we don't. And once we have these conversations, we realize that everybody is concerned about the same things. It may look different, we may express them differently, but at the core, we all want the same things. We want to be safe. We want our families to be successful. We want opportunity. We want to be given the right to succeed and to move forward. We want a great place to live, where we can raise our families. We want to be loved. We want to be supported. We want to serve. All those things are universal.
All those things. I now have adult children, and 3 of them are women. And my women and my friends, we're going to take some time out. And this is something that I feel that, if the audience is listening, this is something you do with your family, your sisters, your cousins, your mother. And not to say that the men shouldn't be involved. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, because we have to create safe spaces for each other, right? Because once you open the door, what happens next? That's kind of what I do on a daily basis. When people talk about holding space, it's just like one of those words that they use over and over again, but that's what holding space is, but non-judgmental.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. We want to really make sure that we create a community around this piece, because everybody needs to see it. Everybody needs to experience it. And again, like I said earlier, it is universal. It really, really is universal. But it's also from a perspective that we're not used to seeing. One of the things that I am so excited about and feel humbled by is the opportunity that I have to be in this space as a Black woman producer and bring our stories to the forefront and bring them authentically, right? Because we haven't had the opportunity to do that.
Can I add something else on top of that?
Sure.
With no shame.
Absolutely.
With no shame.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Authentically, boldly, and without shame.
And no excuses. This is
no excuses. It is what it is. It is what it is. It absolutely is what it is. And you need to see it. Everybody needs to see it, because we've seen other stories for years, for decades, for centuries. And now it really is, I really feel like it's my responsibility, because I've been put in this place, you know, not by myself, but
What was that like?
the favor of God has gotten me here. That, you know, if I'm going to be in this space, then my way to serve is to make sure that I am a vehicle for these stories.
Yeah, what was that like when you got that phone call?
I was like, who? Like, wait, like what? I was like, what? Wait a minute, no, I don't do that. I'm an actress. I'm an actor, you know. I don't do that. But thank God for having people in your life, and I call out Ron Simons all the time. Thank God for having people in your life that see more in you than you see in yourself, who don't allow you to say no to yourself. And finally, thank God for, you know, discernment and revelation, really, that that what you pray for does show up. It may not show up in the form that you expect it to show up, but it will show up. And don't block your own blessing. Don't be your own block to your blessing.
I agree with you. Well, I'm really, really proud of you, I have to say.
Thank you.
Whether you're my cousin or not.
I think that we are. We got to figure this out, because we very well might be.
So, you know, I guess what you get up every day and tackle this, what do you use for your inspiration? I know you said you meditate.
Yeah.
But what do you use for your inspiration to get in there and not just do it again, but each day? I know you, I can feel you. You're trying to bring 110 every day, you know, and that takes a lot of battery power. So what is the thing that you say to yourself, that you do? Not necessarily self-care. It could be mantra, it could be your prayers, but it could be an ancestor, it could be your grandmother. Like, what inspires you to do that?
You know, it's really interesting, because I have been really intentional in this last decade of my life with surrounding myself with women who inspire me. And one of the things that has been getting me through this process, particularly with this show, has been talking to women who see in me what I don't see in myself. Like, I'm literally in a space right now where I am leaning on my village. Right? So with prayer and meditation, absolutely. But I really have been having conversations, particularly with women who I trust and love, and I know love me, who can sow into me so that I can now then go out and sow into this world that I am in now. Right? And so, because again, it's not something that I actively pursued. And there was a lot of fear and trepidation around it. But one of the things that I've been so thankful for is having people in my life that remind me, yes, you can do this. Yes, we see this in you. It makes perfect sense to us. I don't know why it doesn't make perfect sense to you, but it makes perfect sense to us. And so I say to people, when you're moving into a new space, when you're not really sure, really surround yourself with people that will speak into you in ways that you can't speak into yourself. And when you hear it enough, you will start to believe it for yourself. You know?
So I'm going to play devil's advocate for somebody in the audience. Somebody. Sure. So sometimes when someone is speaking into you and they're telling you what you can do, or they're challenging you.
Yes.
Can you tell us that it doesn't always feel good?
Oh, let me tell you something. I have been uncomfortable for the last, really uncomfortable on a level that I have never been uncomfortable with For, I would say, the last 15 months.
All right.
And so but one of the things about being an actor, that has helped because I'm used to being told no. Because as an actor, you know, literally 90% of what you go in for, you don't get. Right. So I was comfortable with being told no in that realm, but I had to transfer that skill set to this realm. And so I say, yeah, be uncomfortable, be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it sounds cliche-ish, but it's absolutely true. Your blessing is just on the other side of your comfort zone. It really, really is. And so if it feels uncomfortable, but inspires you, if it feels uncomfortable, but you don't feel like you're in danger, then that's where you should be.
That was a key point. You don't feel like you're in danger.
Absolutely.
The difference from uncomfortable and a threat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And on that note, I'm going to share something with you. So I am, you know, skincare extraordinaire, wellness chick. And I hate that word because it's so big and so broad sometimes, right? But my realm is energy. I work in energy. And that includes healings, Reiki, all of that. And because I love this show, and of course, because my name is a number and a color, and you have 7 colors there, right? I've attuned them to chakras in the body. Right?
Okay.
So here is what I'm going to tell you. Luna Wellness supports you guys so much whenever you are ready. Those cast members can come to us, or we will come to you, so that when you get on that stage, you're at 100%, and it goes and it touches somebody else's life. And that is how I am going to sow into your life and into those women's lives, because I'm just so proud.
Oh, thank you.
Proud.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Filling the seeds. We're going to fill the seeds too. But, you know, that's going to happen naturally. But of my own 2 hands, I will put back into your work, because it's not just Broadway.
No, it's not. It's bigger than Broadway. It's absolutely, it's bigger than Broadway. It really is. And thank you so much. I do appreciate that, because I know it's all about energy. It's all about spirit. All this stuff has already happened in the energetically, spiritually, before it ever manifests. Yes. Before it ever manifests. So I do appreciate that. I received that, and I'm going to take you up on that. Trust and believe.
I'm going to give you a word for what you do. It's when you're starting in the intention field, it's called 0 point. And 0 is not less than. It's the land of possibilities in that energy world. So I thank you for going through, putting your intention in there, being a team player, not being afraid, not being too afraid to do it. And I cannot wait to see it. I'm such a Broadway junkie now.
That's awesome.
In love.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much again for this conversation. I am so excited. I can't wait for you to see it. I'm so happy that you are a Broadway junkie. That makes my heart sing, particularly as a producer, because, you know, it is my goal to bring as many of our stories to this realm. You know, I was blessed enough to be a co-producer on Thoughts of a Colored Man, and I'm so incredibly proud of that work. And now to be a producer, a co-producer on for Colored Girls, it's, you know, I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that. To start my Broadway producing career with those 2 shows, it doesn't get any better than that.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It does not get any better than that.
Mwah.
Back to you. So I say to everybody that's looking at us right now, please come and see this show. And don't come alone. Bring your church, bring your family, bring your chapter, bring your book club, bring your sister circle, bring your brothers, everybody. Please come see this show, because I promise you that it will be a theatrical experience that you will not ever forget.
And on that note, I think this ends this episode of the Blueprint series for your culture, for the culture. This is definitely for the culture.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Melba Wilson, proud owner of Melba's Restaurant in Harlem. It is the messages from colored girls that allows me to persevere, to stand tall, and to know that I am not alone. For there are many other colored girls just like me. If they can, I can too. If they can, so can you. I urge you, grab a friend, 1, 2, 3, or more, and run. Don't walk. Get to that theater and let's make sure that we celebrate the queendom that we all have instilled within us, because ultimately we are the colored girls.
I want to take a moment before we go to just say thank you again to Valencia Yearwood, producer extraordinaire of For Colored Girls. That was an awesome conversation, and we love you, we appreciate you, and we're definitely going to support you. And for the audience, I appreciate you being here today with us on RealEmN's For the Culture Blueprint series. My name is Seven Brown. I am the founder of Luna Wellness, a workplace and social wellness place is located inside of Luminary. The information will follow. So I hope that you come out and see us as well. But I do want to take a very, very, very important moment to invite you. Please come out. You're invited to attend this production. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring everyone, groups. You're all invited.
Paradise Square. A new music and dance flourishes. New culture is created from an accidental society and held the promise of what America could be. Paradise Square is the musical for our time.
When the days are hell, nothing can compare to the little bit of Eden. Oh, Paradise Square. Down here, hotter than a crucible. It ain't right and it ain't natural.
Lover, you were gone so long. Lover, I was lonesome. Think of it as my desire.
So we can see, show the way the world can be. If you can do it, so can she. If she can do it, so can we. Show the way.